Imagine standing in Staten Island, nearby here, surrounded by thousands of people, clad in lycra, looking super fit. There's a buzz in the air as people are really excited about doing an activity for the day, which is to run a marathon. We are starting at the New York City Marathon, and today we're going to run 26 miles, 42.2 kilometers. Everyone is excited, but all I can feel in the pit of my stomach is dread and fear. Fear because I'm not here to run one marathon. I'm here to run the marathon today, sure, but I'm going to run another marathon tomorrow, and the next day, and the day after that. In fact, I have committed to run 100 marathons in 100 days. I'm not afraid because of the big number, that's part of it. But what I'm really afraid of is the fact that I am now completely outside my comfort zone. You see, I'm actually not a runner. I came to running very late in life as a result of an accident, and the doctors told me I wouldn't be able to run again. In reality, I'd never really been a runner, so I was quite okay with never going out and going for a run. But the more I thought about the things I couldn't do, the more I realized that actually I had to confront my fears. I had to step up. I had to step out. I had to be the change that I wanted to see. So I started running. And I realized by doing that, it was a kind of synonym for beating, for challenging, for getting outside my comfort zone in the same way that we need to if we're going to do anything about achieving these SDGs. And it struck me that it would be a great idea to go out and show stories about the people on the ground who would be affected by water. Because you see, my big thing is water. I am afraid for the next generation, and I want to see SDG 6 fulfilled. So starting on that day, I went out to the grassroots. I wanted to show what it meant to be 100% committed to something. I wanted to show what it meant to throw a rock into a pool and see the ripple of change that could be felt across the land. We started in Uzbekistan in the Aral Sea, and I met fishermen who told me what it was like to watch the waters recede as they're used for cotton and for rice production. I ran in India, where women showed me that they walked for hours every day to collect water. And in South Africa, 4 hours from Cape Town. On my run, I took containers of water out to people whose taps had literally run dry. I gave those containers to kids who'd stayed home from school. Instead of going and learning, they were waiting for the thing that would give them life. I watched teenagers run after our truck carrying water, begging for more. And I watched as fights broke out on the street as we turned right instead of left. These big goals, these big problems often seem far away. I think it's easy for us to think this is someone else's problem. All of us in this room, all of you watching on the webcam, you're watching because you're interested in the SDGs. You're watching because you're interested in these big problems. But in the case of water, these big problems are not someone else's, they're ours too. In water, you have to realize that water goes into every single thing we use, we buy, and we consume every day. Just as an example, what went into the clothes that you're wearing, the food that you eat, just what you're wearing just today, right now, took more water to make than all the water you have drunk in your lifetime. These numbers aren't just numbers on a page, they're people's lives. Remember all those people, the fishermen from the Aral Sea? I met people, farmers, communities in other parts of the world also who have given their lives and given their water to produce the things that you're eating and the things that you're wearing today. Wow. Big things are not just someone else's problem, they're ours too. But they're big. And we're all just individuals. What on earth can we do? When I stood on the starting line of the New York Marathon, I also thought that. I also thought, how on earth can I, just one little person, a kid from Australia who grew up, who doesn't even know about running or about sport or about how to create a global movement, how can doing what I'm doing, trying to show what it means to be 100%, trying to show that you don't have to be anyone to be someone, How can I step up and really make an impact? On day 62, having run 62 marathons in 62 days across the world, I'd tried to do it in 20 different countries, my world collapsed. I was diagnosed with a stress fracture in my right leg, 15-centimetre break, and I was unable to continue running. It was one of the darkest, most awful times in my life. But sometimes out of darkness comes the most amazing things. And on day 63, my team, who before we started didn't know anything about water or even the SDGs, came to me and said, "Mina, this is bigger than you. We're going to run." And they went out and did my run. And the next day, more people ran and more and more. And let me just show you the impact that one action of throwing a stone into a pool had around the world. Let's show the video.
After persevering through days of pain, it came to a point where doctors told me that even if I continued walking, I would cause long-term damage to my leg and may never be able to run for water again. I was absolutely devastated that this happened with only 38 marathons left. Gutted doesn't even begin to describe how I felt. But in that dark moment, something amazing started to happen. People rallied around me. First my mentor and my teammates who stepped up and collectively finished Marathon 63 for me and with me. And then progressively people around the world. People I know and many I don't. People who are logging miles for me all around the world. People who understand that this is a campaign about all of us and what each of us can do to help solve our global water crisis. This campaign is bigger than any single one of us. Together, we can get these marathons done, and we can show what it means to be 100% committed to this issue. I'm absolutely humbled by people's generosity and willingness to help solve this water crisis. Just as I can't do this on my own, the water crisis needs a community of people around the world to come together to solve it.
Change is not made by one person alone. Change is made by people united with purpose, with passion, and with perseverance. In my case, I watched from a wheelchair as people around the world stepped up. Not just one person, but thousands of people in over 160 cities in more than 50 countries around the planet. By the time we finished our campaign, we'd reached over 1.7 billion people across the world. And what had started on the 4th of November as my desire to show what it means to be 100% committed to one of the SDGs had become a global movement to it. These SDGs are not someone else's problem, they're ours too. We are just one person, but we can make a difference. Step up, step out. Most importantly, be prepared to go outside of your comfort zone and throw that rock into a pond, because until you do, you never know how far the ripples will travel. One of my community said right at the end of my run, something that has stuck with me forever and will continue to inspire me to continue to act. And that is, individually, we can make an impact, but together, we change the world. Thank you very much.